Hello and welcome back to Larry D's Food for Thought. Today we're going to be reading out of that old King James Bible. Be reading from the New Testament and from the Old Testament. Okay. We also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title. When the Lord come back, many will perish. When the Lord come back, many will perish. Okay. I am going to share these scriptures with you right quick. You can jot them down if you like. But yeah, people, when the Lord come back, it's gonna be a whole lot of people. It's gonna get taken out. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I'll be so glad when the Lord come." Will you? Yeah, if you sit down and read this book, you may have second thoughts. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be a terrible day. I'm telling you. And 3.5 years prior to his arrival, it's going to be some serious havoc upon this earth too. But he's going to get a man of sin 3.5 years, man, and do some damage. And right after that, immediately after that, and that is the great tribulation. But immediately after that, Lord's going to crack that sky, and he is coming back. And let me tell you, it is not going to be a great day. All right. Because now a lot of people got the wrong impression, man, because they haven't read this book. But you got to read it and understand, man. Lord gonna come back and straighten this earth out. I mean, look around you. Look at all this evil that's going on around us today. You think the Lord is pleased with that? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He is sitting in heaven and he is angry. And we're gonna show you that. A lot of people say, "Oh, he think God is in heaven angry." I tell you what, after we finish reading these scriptures today, you're gonna say, "Okay, all right." Then you're gonna understand. But people just don't read this book. And the guy standing before you on the first day of the week, he ain't telling you this stuff. He don't want to scare you, but this stuff is it's scary, and it should scare you because that way it'll get you on your P's and Q's and start doing what the Lord say. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing these. I hope you got a chance to take a screenshot or whatnot. But we're gonna go over these scriptures today and see if we can get a tad bit of understanding on it because Lord, I'm gonna tell you something. The God of this Bible, the true and living God, the Lord God of Israel, when he come back. It's going to be nothing nice, and we're going to show you that. All right. But we're going to start this in, let's see. We're going to start this in Proverbs. Proverbs, the 6th chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 16. Okay. And just a second here. There's something pop up here. I don't know why that thing pop up while it's knowing I'm recording. But anyway, yeah, Proverbs 6, and we'll start reading verse 16. And it reads, look, these 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yeah, the Lord can hate. Okay. Look. Yeah, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Okay. And heart, a mind that devises wicked imaginations. Okay. You remember back during Noah's time, Lord say the heart of man is wicked continually. Excuse me. Same way it is today. Man, wicked mind people. People's mind is just wicked nowadays. Look, feet that be swift and running to mischief always want to go getting mixed up in some mess, doing some wickedness. Look, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Somebody running up and down like a talebearer all the time. He said this, she said that. Oh man, come on. But look, Lord hate these things. All right. But look here, what he said, verse 20 now, he said, my son, keep thy father's commandments. People won't keep them. Killing, stealing, committing adultery, bearing false witness. All of them, man, won't keep his Sabbath day. But he said, look, keep my father's commandments and forsake not the law of thy mother. That law, that raw law. Okay? I want you to keep it, people. But by us not keeping it, people say, oh, we ain't under the law. We ain't got to worry about them commandments. Look, by you not keeping them, that's why we in the predicament we in today. All right? Lord is angry, people. All right? But let's go right here. Let's go right over here to Proverbs 1. I'm going to start reading at verse 23. See what the Lord had written here. This is Proverbs 1 and verse 23, and it reads, look, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Okay? You turn, start serving him. He'll make his words known to you. Sit down and read this book. Okay? 24. Because I have called, Lord said he is called. Look, and you refused. I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Man, he's stretching out his hand to you. Come on. People, keep those commandments. Do what I say. Walk in my ways. But you wouldn't. Look, but you have set at naught. You have set at nothing all my counsel, and with none of my reproofs. I also will laugh. Look at this now. Let me see what he said he's going to do. Look. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Look, 27. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. Look, let's see what he say here. Then shall they call upon me. Huh? You get your butt in a bind and get in trouble, get scared and stuff. Now you want to call upon him. But what did he say here? He said, then they should call upon me, but I will not answer. Okay. You don't want to do nothing the Lord say. Get yourself in a bind, then you want to call on it. He said, he ain't gonna answer you. Okay. But they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. So you better seek the Lord where he may be, while he may be found right now. Look, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. What is the whole duty of man? Fear God and keep his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes 12 chapter. Go read it on your own. You'll see it. But nobody want to fear the Lord because you don't do nothing he say. Look, they were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproofs. Mm, mm, mm. But I'll tell you something. Let's go take a look at this. Now we're going to take a look right quick here at some future stuff. Excuse me. We finna see what the Lord going to do when he come back. And I'm telling you, you say I'm talking out the side of my neck when I say the Lord coming back doing some killing. Look, let's read this. This is future right here. You see what he had the prophet, the prophet Isaiah right here. And this is Isaiah 66, and I'm start reading at verse 15. And look, and it reads, look, for behold, the Lord cometh. Wait a minute, let me start that over. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger. See that? Told you he's sitting there having angry. Look, with his anger and with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire when he come. Okay, verse 16. Look, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. See that? Look, when the Lord come back, many shall perish. Why? He said the slain of the Lord gonna be many. He coming back doing some killing people. Okay? Look, verse 17. Look, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst. You hide behind old Satan the devil, doing your devilment. You think the Lord ain't seeing it? Look, eating swine's flesh. What? Swine flesh? But I thought we can eat anything. And all we had to do was pray over it. Huh. Somebody told you something wrong. Okay? And this is when the Lord come back. He see you still eating this stuff. Look, pork chop, that pork bacon, can't even go in a fast food restaurant anymore and get a burger without wanting to put that pork bacon on it, man. Why can't you get turkey bacon or something? Look, but anyway, look, eating swine's flesh and the abomination and the mouse, look, shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. You still eating that stuff when the Lord come, he gonna take you out. He said the slain of the Lord gonna be many, and you gonna be consumed with the rest of them. All right, look. So don't listen to those cats. telling you you can eat anything. All you got to do is pray over it. Look, verse 18, for I know that works, Lord. He know what you're doing. Look, I know that works and their thoughts. You think the Lord can't look in that brain of yours and know what you thinking? He made it, didn't he? Look, shall come. Look, for I know thy works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. You see what kind of glory he talking about right here. All right. But I'm trying to get this thing in you, man, so you can look. Say, man, maybe I better take a second look at this thing. Maybe I better sit down and read this book and find out about this God. Maybe you start walking that straight and narrow path. I hope you do, because you get caught up in this, will be nothing nice, people. All right. But let's go right over here to Prophet Isaiah, right? I mean Jeremiah, right quick. Take a look at this. Yeah, Lord had this stuff written, man. He expect for us to sit down and read it so you know what to do and what not to do. So you can get yourself in a bind with the Lord, okay? Excuse me. This is Jeremiah 25, and I'm start reading at verse. Let's see here. We'll start reading at verse 30. And it reads, listen, let's see what he told prophet brother Jeremiah to write right here. Look. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, he told Jeremiah to tell him, look, the Lord shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout, and they that tread the great against all the inhabitants of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. What we just read over there in Isaiah about him pleading with all flesh. Okay. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. All right. Look, 32. Then saith the Lord, or thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall come forth from nation to nation. Look, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day. That's the day when he come. You don't see it now, but look, shall be at that day from one end of the earth even to unto the other end of the earth. Have you seen that yet? That's future, people. Look, they shall not be limited, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Ain't gonna be so many people killed. People ain't gonna have enough people to bury them, man. They be laying up on the ground looking like dung. I told you he's doing a whole lot of killing, man. So you want to be on the Lord's good side when he get here, because many gonna perish. All right. But let's go a little further right here. Let's turn right over here to let's go to Micah. Go to the book of Micah right quick. Take a quick look at this here. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. People don't know this God, man. You need to sit down and read this book, people. Get to know him, man. So you don't get caught up. All right. Get on the good side of the Lord where you got time. All right. This is Micah 5, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 9. And it reads, listen, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots, and I will cut off the cities of the land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcraft out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. You know all them what? Palm readers, man, and all them evil working people, man, doing all that witchcraft and all that crap. Oh, you gonna take them out, man. You ain't gonna have that no more. Look, Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hand. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities. Mm. And I will execute vengeance in anger. Told you he was angry. Look, and fury upon the heathen, upon the nations, such as they have not heard. Man, you ain't heard this. Boy, it's gonna be a terrible day, people. Okay, now let's go a little bit further right here. Let's turn right over here to Habakkuk. How you say it, Habakkuk? Habakkuk. Yeah, some say Habakkuk, some say Habakkuk. But anyway, we're going over here to Habakkuk, and this is Habakkuk, the third chapter. Let's see what Brother Habakkuk said right here, the prophet. Okay. This is Habakkuk, the third chapter. I'll start reading at verse 1. And it reads, look, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shigionoth. O Lord, see what he said here. Listen, O Lord, I have heard thy speech. Said to hear the Lord. Look, and was afraid. Mm. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. He know the Lord gonna bring some serious wrath upon this earth when he come, but he said, please remember some mercy. Okay, look. Let's see. Verse 11. The sun and the moon stood still in thy habitation at the light of thine arrows. They went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Look, thou didst thrash the heathens in anger. He's thrashed those nations in anger, man. Look, verse 16. Look what he said here. When I heard, let's see, Habakkuk said, when he heard, you know what he said right here? He said, oh Lord, I heard that speech. Look, when I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at thy voice. When he heard the Lord tell him all this stuff, man, whoo, boy. Look at that. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I tremble in myself that I might rest in the day of trouble. Shoot, Habakkuk said, man, I hope I'm dead when this comes, man, when this trouble comes. Look, when he cometh upon unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. Mm-mm. Boy, it's going to be a terrible day, people. Please read this book and understand and take heed to it, all right? Now, let's go right in. Let's turn right over to Zechariah right quick. We're on to Zechariah 14. See what else the Lord going to do here. Zechariah 14. And I'm going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, listen, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. All right. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives. You mean the Lord gonna come back down here to the earth? Yeah, he ain't stealing nobody up off this, off of this earth. Look, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half of it towards the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azel. Yeah, ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, and the Lord my God shall come and all the saints with thee. Where did he get them saints from? Those are the ones that were so blessed and did what he said, read this book, kept his commandments, laws, and statutes, and died in Christ. Or some will still be alive. Everybody ain't gonna die when the Lord comes. You're gonna be dead when the Lord comes. But they met him in the air. The Lord cracked that sky and he made his descent. He stopped in midair, up with the clouds right there. And those that were so blessed met him in the air. And where they go? Right back down here on this earth. on the Mount of Olives. Help the Lord fight that war of Armageddon. Okay? You ain't going to heaven. All right? But look at this. Verse 9, look, and the Lord shall be king over all the earth. He gonna be here, all right? In that day shall there be one Lord and his name one. Right here on this earth, people. So you ain't going up there. Okay, he told you you can't go up there. Said no man is ascended up to heaven. To him that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven, the only Jesus. Okay, remember that. All right, now let's go over here to let's go to Revelation right quick. Some more stuff I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen here. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, boy. These people got you so messed up, thinking everything gonna be hunky dory when the Lord come. I know what you see we done read so far, right? But look, this is Revelation 6 chapter. Start reading in verse 1, and it reads, look, okay. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. Look, verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. Look, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with anger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. Verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountain. Now, why in the world would they want to do that? Why would they want to hide themselves in the dens and the rocks and the mountains? Let's see. Say 16, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Who was the Lamb? That's Jesus, people. They said, boy, they were scared because they done messed up. Didn't humble themselves, didn't do what the Lord say. Look, 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Okay, only somebody gonna stand, and those sit down, read this book, and do what it say. Walk uprightly before God, man. Learn to fear him, okay, and do all that he had written, okay. You won't get caught up in this, people. All right, but let's go to Isaiah right quick. I just got one more place after this. 'Cause I know I'm kind of pushing the time a little bit. So I know most people's attention span ain't that long. But anyway, take a quick look at this. This is let's see. Hold on. I'm in there. Jeremiah. I need to get to Isaiah right quick here. This is Isaiah 34. Isaiah the 34th chapter. Isaiah 34, I'm gonna start reading at verse 1, okay? And read, look, and he talking to everybody right here. Listen to this. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth from it. He talking to everybody right here. Okay, verse 2. Look, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. He's showing what he's going to do when he get here, when it's done. Look, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Woo! Verse 4, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. You know, all that pretty blue sky on a sunny day you be looking at up there? Yeah, that's water up there. Sure is. And all the hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Wow, I want to be in Idumea. Okay, look. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood, is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. And look, he ain't talking when he talking about lambs, goats, and rams and all that. Them ain't them ain't animals, people. Those are people. Okay? Listen, for the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Man, boy, I wouldn't want to be there. Telling you. Look here. Verse 7. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and that land shall be soaked with blood, and that dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Who? Where is Zion? That's Jerusalem. He gonna show who Jerusalem really belong to. All right, when he get here, and ain't them people over there now. Them people calling themselves Jews. They say the Jews are back home. Wait a minute. When the Lord's come back, he gonna gather all 12 tribes. Where the other 11 tribes at if the Jews are home now? The Jewish people are at home. We scattered all over the world. We got these 3 tribes over here in America, okay? But no, 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 they lying. On your own, go read Revelation 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9. You'll see for yourself. He said, man, they are of the synagogue of Satan, and they do lie. Yeah, they lying. That land ain't there. They ain't the true Israelites, okay? You want to see an Israelite, look at a black man over here in America. And we are everywhere, all over. The Lord said he's going to scatter us to the 4 corners of the earth, okay? So look, now, Lord gonna fix this thing when he come back, but you just want to be on his good side, people. So you want to go ahead on and read this book and do what it says. Let's go to this last place right quick. Go to Matthew. Matthew's 24. Matthew's 24, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 35. And it reads, listen, this is in red. These next 2 verses here is in red. This is Jesus speaking himself. So listen. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. See that? So you best better believe all this stuff we done read. It's true. It ain't passing away. All right. Well, look, 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Okay. So not even the angels in heaven know the day when the Lord gonna crack that sky. So look, people, I'm telling you. I hope these scriptures will soak in, and I hope that they would encourage you to sit down and read this book, see what it is the Lord wants you to do and not do, and adhere to everything He told you to do and not do. Okay? Because you do not want to get caught up in this. Learn to fear this God, man. Do what He say. Okay? So I hope you understood this, and with this word, food for thought, and words and scriptures, keep them in mind throughout the day. Okay? And until next time, peace.